Find other great podcasts like this one at podmoth.network.
Are you tired of this reality? Us too. How about once a week you take a break and visit a different reality? In Jack Billings Presents Haunted Apartment Complex, we bring you a comedy podcast full of ghosts, werewolves, gentle vampires, and Frankenstein monstrosities made of 72 people stitched together. And somehow, that's not even the strange stuff. A proud member of the Podmoth Network. Every Tuesday, wherever you get your podcasts.
Immerse yourself in a unique reading experience this summer with Myths and Malt Productions, where captivating stories blend cryptozoology and craft beer. Discover some thrilling books that combine mysterious creatures and local brews. Each book features a beer checklist, selfie locations, curated music, and with every purchase comes with a 15% donation to a non-profit organization. So prepare yourself for a journey filled with wonder and excitement with such titles like The Chupacabra and the Bat Rastard, a cryptozoology craft beer adventure, and for all you New England folks, A Champ and a Bit of Sunshine, both being award-winning books. Get your copies today at mythsandmalts.com. And because you're listening to Cryptid Cocktail Party, I have a very strong feeling that A, you love a cold brewski in the hot summer sun, and B, you're super interested in cryptids.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Cryptid Cocktail Party, a show where we have a few drinks, share a few laughs, take a dive into the unknown. I am your host, Dave, and I am joined once again by my good friend, Jon Bunting. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, world. Dave, how are you? Terrific on this Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Just found out that tomorrow morning my commute to work's going to be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, probably for the next, year, depending on how fast PennDOT is.
It's going to be, so for those of you who don't know, we live in and near the greater Philadelphia metropolitan area, and a part of our I-95 corridor just collapsed, like 5 exits from my house. So
yeah, you were the first person to tell me because you texted me when I was just waking up, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I go on the news to see flames.
I didn't realize what time it was when I texted you, and then after I texted, it's like, "Oh, it's like 8 a.m." Like,
Oh, it's okay.
I don't even know if this man's gonna be awake.
I woke up like a half hour before that.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad I didn't disturb you.
No.
But yeah, Jonathan, you're looking good, sounding good. You sounding like you're talking through a gaming headset, which is what I love.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. That's all I have.
Now, Jonathan, when you were on last, we talked about the Loveland Frogman.
We did.
And I know you're not really big of a cryptids guy, but are you like, what are you doing over there?
You're getting I am trying to. My
like you're
floor
dropping
is
wrenches.
wet.
Why is your floor wet?
I don't know.
All right, you want to take a minute?
No, we're good.
All right, but yeah, no, you're not like a big like cryptids guy, but are you an aliens guy?
More and more, I'm getting into aliens just because of that guy that is saying that he has all the secrets and he's a whistleblower. So now I'm very interested.
So you became more interested when like the disclosure started happening.
I need something real. I mean, because everybody who talks about it is like that dude from the History Channel. Aliens.
Oh, Giorgio A. Tsoukalos, the best fucking man in the world.
Well, I need somebody more legitimate than that guy because it's not really working.
I love him. I saw him talk at UNH years ago, and it's just as you expected it would be. All right, so fun fact about me. I'm the kind of person that when I go to bed, I have to have like light and noise, if that makes sense. Like I
I
need
always
to have
have to have
a TV
something
on or
on.
something like that. So normally when we go to bed, we would watch Naruto because there's a billion episodes of it, and my wife just wants to get through it. And half of it's filler episodes, so we'll throw it on when it's filler episodes and just fall asleep through all of them. But
Oh, sure.
lately, now that she started a new job, she has to wake up earlier, so she's not like watching it till she falls asleep. So I started watching Ancient Aliens, and now I'm caught up all like 18 seasons of it. And
Ugh.
dude, I love that show. I don't subscribe to any of it. I think it's all bullshit. It's basically just like whitewashing history and being like,
Sure.
it's pretty shitty because humans back then had the same brains we do now. They just didn't have the information that we have now. So to say they couldn't do it is kind of bullshit, but God damn it, if Giorgio A. Tsoukalos isn't a saint amongst men, and I love him so much, I would give my left nut to be able to sit down and talk with him. Now, what were you going to say? You had a face.
Nothing.
All right.
I mean, yes, probably talking to the guy would be amazing because
yeah, he doesn't just do Ancient Aliens though. He also has another show where he like goes around and does like other mysteries. I mean, yeah, it always does lead back to aliens, but for the most part, he's not like he's trying to find like Atlantis and like Lemuria, which is basically Atlantis. And then
I've never heard of that.
Lemuria.
Yeah, I guess I'm not up on my lore.
I think it's like Atlantis, but I think like it had something to do with like Nazis. Like it was like the Aryan race started in the. It's a whole thing. Anyways, John, we're not talking about that. So you're in Aliens. Let's get into this. Here's ready for a really good segue.
I'm ready.
How much do you know about Zimbabwe?
I know that aren't they the country that has $1 trillion bill?
Yes, they are.
Yes, that's as much as I know.
Do you want to know some
that
more
it costs $1 million trillion to get a banana?
Do you want to know some more fun facts about Zimbabwe?
I do.
Okay, well, Zimbabwe is a landlocked country located in the southern part of Africa. It's not South Africa. For some reason in my head, I thought Zimbabwe is part of South Africa. It's just in the southern part of Africa.
Okay.
It has 16 official languages, making it the country with the most official languages in the world, with English being the main language used for like education and the judicial system. It's home to 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, one of them being Victoria Falls, the world's largest waterfall. It has multiple currencies, so they don't just have $1 trillion bill; they have many currencies. And it's
all worthless.
And it's illegal to be gay there.
Hey!
The ex-president Mugabe, I think I'm pronouncing that right. He blamed the LGBTQ community for all of Zimbabwe's problems, stating that homosexuality is an un-African and immoral culture brought by European colonists, and is only practiced by just a few whites. There's also a bunch of human rights violations under his reign, and he ended up resigning after a coup in 2017. And then his vice president took over. But as far as I can tell, he's no better than him.
Where it sounds like we're halfway there in this country.
Yeah. But I didn't invite you on to talk about foreign politics and their horrible.
Are we talking about gay aliens?
No. I like to think that aliens are kind of like Paul from the movie Paul. You know, they're just kind of like, yeah, sex is sex, love is love. It doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I want to think.
They remind me of that old show Pat. Remember It's Pat?
Oh, it wasn't like an SNL skit.
Yeah, and then they made it a show.
They didn't make it. Didn't they make a movie? SNL for a while was making. They were trying to make after Wayne's World blew up. They were trying to make everything into a movie or a show, and not a lot of them landed. But no, I wanted to talk to you about a private elementary school in a small God damn it, a small suburb of Zimbabwe's capital, Harare. I should have looked up how to pronounce.
Probably.
It
just sounds so terrible right now. Yep, this country that I can't name, and these towns that I can't name.
Yeah, I sound like one of the European colonists called Roa. Now, Roa isn't exactly a town, at least at the time of the incident occurred. It's about 14 miles south of the capital, and according to Wikipedia, the people described it as little more than a crossroads in an agricultural region. So
nice. So it's the It's where you want to be. It's
Yeah.
a tourist destination.
It's full of nightlife. I bet if they had a website, it would say it was full of nightlife and culture.
Oh, yeah.
The nightlife being
Definitely.
taking a spotlight and spotting for lions, or I don't know. Now, this region is no stranger to UFO sightings or lights in the sky. Leading up to the sighting at the Ariel School, there had been a ton of alleged UFO sightings, and some would even say that it caused Zimbabwe and a lot of southern Africa to be in what they call like UFO mania, like a craze.
Okay.
Two days prior, there had been reports of a fireball streaking through the sky, with many people who saw it calling into a local radio station describing what they saw, which probably didn't like ease people's minds, like quell their fear of like alien invasions. There were some other things, like a trucker reported aliens on the side of the road, but none of this is important, John. I wrote all this to pad the runtime because the story's not very long. So let's just get into it. All right, now I want you to close your eyes, and the listeners as well. I want you to get into the mindset of where we are. The date, Friday, September 16th, 1994. I'll Make Love to You by Boyz II Men is top of the charts, and Forrest Gump is number 1 at the box office, baby.
Oh, man, times are good.
At least in the United States. But 8,000 miles away at around 10 a.m. in Roa, Zimbabwe, at the Ariel School, which is a very expensive private school where most of the attendees were from wealthy white families, more than likely benefiting from apartheid laws. Yay, colonialism. The students were having a fairly normal day, learning about math, science, probably not learning about apartheid and all the fucked up shit that was going on in the area. When it was time for the students to have their morning recess. Fuck, dude, you remember recess?
Oh, it's the best time.
God
Jungle
damn.
gyms. Love it.
Jungle gyms, pogs, fucking slammers.
Wall ball. You play
wall ball. Dude, I fucking love wall ball. I used for like Christmas and my birthday, I'd always ask for a sleeve of tennis balls.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just to play wall ball.
Just so I could hit a kid in the ass.
There was always that one wall at your school that was the designated wall ball wall. And if anyone tried to sit there or do anything during recess or lunch break, fuck out of here, dude.
You're going to get hit with a tennis ball or multiple.
Yeah, and that's on you. That's not on us.
Yeah.
You know the rules.
Our designated wall was the one on the side of the auditorium.
Yeah, I think
right next to the jungle gym.
Ours was the back wall of the gym.
Okay.
I think. I'm glad that, we grew up states apart, and, the shared...
Sometimes throwing a tennis ball against a brick wall is, that's universal.
It really is. Now, as the kids were filing outside for recess, I think the school had just over like 200 students. I don't know if all of them were outside for recess or just like a few grades, but either way, the teachers and faculty stayed behind to have a morning meeting, and we're just going to leave the kids outside unsupervised.
Yeah, it's cool.
For like a minute. They were going to join in when they were done, but now a group of children were playing by one of the school buildings when something in the distance caught their attention. Some of the kids reported seeing a bright, glimmering silver disc with 4 smaller ones trailing behind it. I don't know how true the 4 smaller ones thing is. I read it in a couple different things, but I also tried to watch a couple documentaries about this, and they were so mind-numbingly fucking boring that I gave up halfway
YouTube documentaries?
Yeah, obviously. Who the fuck is there's not like a feature film documentary about this?
You never know.
Yeah,
they've made documentaries about worse.
But anyways, they saw a silver disc with 4 smaller ones trailing behind it land on a hillside just outside the schoolyard. So a group of children ran down to get a closer look at what the fuck they just saw when they saw the craft sitting in the field, and they saw figures come out of the craft. They described them as being about 3 feet tall with tight black suits on, long black hair, and eyes that were lower down on their cheeks, and, quote, the size of rugby balls, with the mouth being only a slit and no noticeable ears or nose. I'm pretty sure they just saw Glenn Danzig, but now obviously this freaks some of the kids out, understandably. Some students believe the creatures to be, and I'm going to butcher another African word. I am so sorry. They believe the creatures to be Zvikwambo, which are
That's I know what that is.
which are spirits of humans come back through magic, or Takaloshi, which are evil goblins of folklore.
Yep.
Well, other kids weren't so cynical and weren't scared at all. They're actually kind of stoked. I mean, who wouldn't be fucking stoked to see aliens and alien crafts in the 90s?
Yeah, just
I think
hanging out.
That's like the best time to see them. For some reason in my head, I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't know. They'd probably this day and age. I don't know. I had a joke, but I lost it.
Had Independence Day been out at this point yet?
Independence Day, I think, came out in 96.
Ah, damn.
I want to say 96.
Well, that's a shame. All in all, 62 children witnessed the encounter, but some of them got more than just a sighting, which we will cover later.
Ooh.
Now, mind you, this all took place within a span of like 15 minutes. Once the encounter happened, all those who witnessed it ran back in to tell their teachers and school officials what had happened. And of course, they were like, no, yeah, I'm sure you all just met aliens in a matter of minutes, half that time being when you left the school and then came back in. So they completely wrote them off. And so the kids just continued their day like normal, like they didn't just see aliens land in the back of their school. But when they went home, they obviously told their parents, who contacted the school to find out what was happening. I mean, they're spending all their ill-gotten diamond money for their tuition. I don't know if this is true. I'm shitting on these people, but I'm just going to assume that all of them benefited from apartheid and they're all shitheads.
Probably.
Well, word got out about this and soon others wanted to find out as well, obviously. So a few short days later, UFO expert Cynthia Hind made her way down to the school as she was already investigating the UFO sightings and the light in the sky from just a few days prior, and started interviewing the kids and asked them to sketch what they saw. And all of them drew nearly identical crafts and creatures, which is where we got the initial descriptions of the aliens. She found the children to be very credible and believed that since they lived in such a rural area, they wouldn't have access to many media depictions of UFOs or aliens, like movies or comic books or TV shows. You look like you're going to say something, but I'm going to wait. Hold the thoughts. Don't twiddle your thumbs. Just hold the thoughts. But things get a little weirder from here. She then called in John Mack, who was a Pulitzer Prize winner and a professor of psychiatry at Harvard, to help her out with the investigations. He too also had a chance to sit down and interview the kids. What they told him is that the aliens had actually spoken to them. But John, you may be asking, how did the aliens speak to them if they only had little baby slip mouths? There's no way that they could talk with those Mitch McConnell lips. Well,
those dog jowls.
Well, I'm glad you asked that in your head, because they talk to them telepathically, John. These motherfuckers got in their brains.
Telepathically.
Were you?
There's only one pathy, and it's tele.
It's the only option, anyways.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, the messages weren't something like super fucked up. like it wasn't like we're here to kill all of you and your family and take you as slaves. Like it was it was a little more of a warning about what we should be doing as a species to protect life on Earth. The students who heard this message were told that something was going to happen and that pollution mustn't be. It's very broken. And one girl who heard the message told Mac that, quote, I think that they want people to know that we're making harm on this world, and we mustn't get too technological.
Technological?
No, it was TECHNOLOGED. And it was written that way in everywhere. I'm gonna say technologued because I think that sounds way funnier.
When you spelled it, all I heard was that Daft Punk song. That's how you say it. That's how you say it.
Okay. Now, other children stated that he was told that the world would end because we're not taking care of the planet. So I guess it is kind of grim. Some of the kids heard pretty fucked up stuff, but it seemed like it's kind of just like telling children to save the earth. But also, I feel like they're telling the wrong kids.
It's up to you 5 children right here.
I think they're telling the wrong kids.
It's Zimbabwe recess.
Because I think these children, their parents probably profited off of fracking and mining, And what are they gonna do? They're gonna fucking I am really
Daddy, the Mitch McConnell alien told me that you need to stop fracking.
I know. Again, I don't know if that's what if their
Off
parents
the cliff
did,
you go.
but I am going
Yeah.
to keep asserting that they probably are shitty people. Now, obviously, this made big news. The BBC was actually there within a matter of days and did a bunch of stories about it. I'm assuming because they're British and we're probably already in South Africa because, you know.
That old gag.
You know the reason why. But yeah, other news agencies were there as well. So pretty much everyone in the whole world had heard the stories. But John, do you think it actually happened?
Absolutely not.
Well, I'm not one to say, and I guess technically you weren't there.
Yeah, I can't remember where I was.
Where you were on Friday, September 16th, 1994.
When you said it the first time, I was trying to think about that. I was 9.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was doing something.
So clearly
Playing Super Nintendo.
You were clearly in elementary school in Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Oh God. Guinness is so thick. Terrible.
I see you struggling with that with that glass over there.
There are certain drinks you shouldn't drink as someone who uses their voice. Milk being one, Guinness being two, and then there's not really many outside of that. So heads up, if you're ever gonna start a podcast, don't drink milk, don't drink Guinness because it makes you sound like a frog. But yeah, I'm not one to say, you're not one to say you weren't fucking there, John. I'd like to believe it did.
You didn't know me then. You don't know where I was. Maybe I was in Zimbabwe. Maybe
That's
I
true.
am the aliens.
Oh shit.
You didn't think about that, did you?
No, I didn't cover all angles of this. That's on me.
Well,
I'm a bad researcher. I should have hit you up first
yeah.
and been like, hey, John, where were you?
Hey, John, are you these Zimbabwe aliens? You caught me. That's why I don't come on this podcast a lot, because I've been getting scared you were going to come to that conclusion.
But you're also not 3 feet tall. You don't wear black suits. You also don't have rugby-sized eyeballs. I don't know what a rugby ball size is.
Yeah, when I heard... it's like... They just described the aliens in South Park. That's all they did.
That's fair. Kind of, yeah.
1994? No, South Park wasn't on yet. That was 2 years. South Park stole it from them.
If they ever did an episode, be like, Zimbabwe did it. Instead of Simpsons did it. No. That joke landed flat. All right, but
if you look at the South Park aliens, those are rugby-sized eyes. That's what they mean.
Yeah, but that doesn't help me understand. We're good. I'll look it up after. Is it the size of a football? I just need to know.
Yes.
I need a general size. That's too
just
big
a bigger
head.
football.
That's too big for a head.
That's what I'm saying. And then a slit mouth. I mean.
Okay. Well, let's move on, John.
I'm thinking about it too much.
But like, I'd like to think that it did. But I like to think that it happened. But there are some flaws with how Hind and Mac went about their investigations. Shocking.
Let me guess, all of them.
For one, they interviewed the kids in groups of 2 and sometimes up to 6 at a time, which made it a lot easier for them to pretty much yes and each other and keep their stories somewhat consistent. And as for her claims that the children wouldn't have access to TV or movies depicting UFOs or aliens, well, remember, these are rich kids from a well-off family. You're telling me that they didn't have access to like that shit? Like, and they were only 14 miles from like the major metropolis area, which is the capital. And I'm assuming they definitely went to like movies and went out with their family. They were just like stuck in this hodunk crossroads of a town. And there's already like a UFO mania going on in the area. So I'm assuming they probably heard about it. Right? Or am I insane?
I mean, maybe. I have a
apt input, John.
Look, man. So I have my mouse pad is also a glip. So I'm looking at Zimbabwe on there, and I don't know. Maybe neighboring Botswana was having a problem, or they were interested.
Like a UFO problem?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I'll look into it. But I think these kids are just chasing clout.
What is rich in Zimbabwe?
I have no idea. It sounds expensive, whatever it is.
So these aliens came down.
The
They
aliens came down.
telepathically said to these children that you need to stop polluting. These children did nothing about it. Like, they didn't become the Power Rangers or anything. Like,
as far as I know, none of them went on to like volunteer at Greenpeace or like
Captain
anything
Planet,
like that.
nothing. No rings.
You gotta think, I'm pretty sure at this point, they're probably our age by now.
Oh, yeah.
And none of them.
Where are they?
That's what I'm saying.
In this age of the internet, if there's whistleblowers all over the place, why are these people not whistleblowing?
Dude, if I fucking met an alien when I was in 5th grade or whatever, and it told me to stop polluting, that would be my whole life from then on out. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
But then you got to think that, like, if I'm a kid and an alien meets me and says stop polluting, I am paranoid for the rest of my life. Any form of waste, I'm like losing it.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, I would, like, my carbon footprint would be fucking 0.
A gum wrapper hitting the sidewalk, and I'm like, where is he? He's gonna kill me.
But now, what if I told you that the environmental part of this might not be exactly what it seems?
Ooh. Now I'm hooked.
All right. Well, according to allthat'sinteresting.com,
that's a legitimate website. Yeah.
Mac was well known to be a huge environmental activist, and it was only until after his interviews with the kids that they started talking about the anti-pollution message, which is weird since Hind interviewed them first, and none of that was mentioned before she called him in. Yeah. Right? Little sketch.
It's for a good cause, though, if that's true.
I mean, if you're gonna abuse your power, I guess abuse it for good, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's no negative message in that. I respect it.
But I mean, if he did taint his UFO investigation, I feel like that also puts like a lot of bad raps on like UFO investigator. You know what I mean? Like, what you're doing is trying to be helpful and good, but you're also like fucking up the rest of ufology, however you want to pronounce it. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, I've thought about that myself, Dave, and I don't know. The choice is pretty big, where it's like if I had the opportunity to get a message out,
yeah,
to a lot of people very quickly, and something like that happened, I might you would
use impressionable children who just claim to have seen a UFO to get your message out there.
I mean, if enough eyes get on it, right, in this TikTok era.
Fair enough, I guess. I don't know.
That's all you really got to do.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think the story's cool. I would like to believe it happened. The only reason why is because I would have loved to have that happen to me as a kid. So I'm gonna say it's true just for that reason alone. But John, I'm gonna
say it's true because you are so enthusiastic about it, and you want it to be true so bad that you're making me change my mind.
Is that all right? I like that. I'm glad I could convince you with this hodgepodge of stories that really amounted to nothing. So
I'm easily convinciable.
The story's not that exciting. I just think it's cool. You know what I mean? Like, no one got killed. There was no shooting. There was no murder. You know, that was just aliens being like, "Hey, throw that cup away."
Yeah,
that's all it was.
How about a little styrofoam, huh? How about paper bags instead of plastic?
Yeah, you know, just little things, little changes can help with your carbon footprint. But yeah, that's the story of the Ariel School Phenomenon. What did you think, John?
I was very interested.
Yeah?
Very interested. And I'm even more interested now because now I want to see if, like, what was the actual message? Like, if this guy is changing it for environmental stuff, what did those kids really say?
Yeah, I don't know. There was never, like, all the things that I saw and all the things that I read, they all had those same quotes. Like, there wasn't like one cohesive message. Like, not everyone got the same message, I think. I
think we have to take a trip to Zimbabwe.
It's like, I was reading up on it. It doesn't sound great.
It's not like the best.
Yeah.
Just bring a life vest. Remember this?
And then we'll just go over the waterfall.
Yeah. Bring a life vest, some tuxedo pants, and an AK-47, and you're good. That's probably bad. That's probably bad.
I'm sure we could just pick up all those things while we're there.
Yeah, they're probably offered to you when you get off the plane.
It's like in Hawaii when they put a lay
Pick
on
a
you,
side.
but instead
Yeah.
they give you.
They give you a life vest as armor and an AK-47
I'm fucking into it, dude. All right, John.
held together with rubber bands.
That's the episode. I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank John for being the guest again today.
Thanks for inviting me again, Dave.
Yeah, it was a good time. I hope you had fun.
I did.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Let's see.
I always have fun when I'm with you, Dave.
Oh, John, you make me feel warm. That could just be the Guinness. It's also hot as fuck in here. All right, follow us on Instagram at Cryptid Cocktail. Follow us on Twitter at Cryptid Cocktail. I never post there. Follow us on TikTok at Cryptid Cocktail Party. I'm having a blast over there. The dumbest shit. I just posted my in memoriam to Ted Kaczynski, R.I.P. Angel. And if you want to support the show, there is a link in the episode description as well as the show description. You can click that. You can donate whatever you want, recurring, one night at a time, doesn't matter. And with that, that's it. Say bye, John.
See you later, everybody. I hope to be on here again, Dave. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, anytime, bud.